All right, today I have the Angel Juicer, and I'm going to be showing you how to make celery juice using celery. All right, so let's get started. So I have the Angel Juicer right here, and what I'm going to do is first I'm going to go ahead and put the juice collection cup into place right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the pulp cup on the back right there so it collects the pulp from the celery. Now right here I have 100% organic celery that I'm going to be using. I washed this thoroughly to make sure that there was no dirt or any grime on it. Some people may soak their celery with baking soda and water for about 10 minutes to remove any of the acidic pesticides if there are some on there. That's an option of yours to choose from, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. So I have the celery right here and I have it washed. Now, the one thing with using the Angel Juicer when juicing celery is that the tube right here is relatively small. So if you have the ends that are wide, let's find a wide end, it's kind of like this one, it is too wide to go down. And so what I tend to do is take this and cut it down to the wide part off. Now don't throw this away. So what I'll do with this is I will slice this in half. So let me go ahead and slice this in half. Now slicing in half will allow this part of the celery to go all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and find any of the large pieces of the celery that are too wide to go down the chute, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half. Now this is an important part of this because if you have too wide of an end, it can get stuck, lodged in, and you'll end up with problems. So it's better to go ahead and cut it right away, make sure, before you go ahead and proceed in making celery juice. All right, so I did that. Oh, here's one end right here that I need to do again. So I'm going to take this one and slice that one in half. Slice it just so it goes down in there properly. Now you also want to use your plunger. I have my plunger right here. Instead of using your fingers, you do not want to stick your fingers down in there because it could cause you to lose a finger. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press start on my Angel Juicer, and we're going to be making juice. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up. Now it's important that you have the standard housing on here because this is a hard fruit. It does not require the soft fruit housing. Just the standard housing is on here. Now I'm going to remove this splash guard when I'm juicing, just so you can get the scope of how much juice is actually coming out of the celery. I'm going to go ahead and get my glass ready to consume the celery juice for when it's done. And then let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and press start on the juicer. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the ends that I cut first, and I'm just going to go ahead and place them in there. And the grinder's in there, grind it, and they go ahead and take it in. So make sure that this is not too wide. Go ahead, place it in there. And if it's not going, just use the plunger to plunge it down, and it'll catch on, and then it will continue to juice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see the juice coming out. Now, initially, when you're juicing, in the collection cup, you will notice that juice actually comes down into that cup right there. And that is normal for when you start juicing, and I think it's because there needs time to build up pulp right here to actually build temporary filter, and I'll show you later on, to block some of the juice from coming out of there. All right, so I've been juicing some of that. I have some of the ends, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take off this splash filter. It may cause a little bit of mess, but you'll be able to see the juice coming from out of there. All right, so we have the juice coming out right here, and I'm going to go in close so you can actually see it after I start juicing the larger stalks, okay? So I have the larger stalks, and I'm just going to go ahead and feed this in there. And I'm doing all of it, leaves and everything. We want to get all of the juice in there. Do you see the juice coming out of there? All right, after this stalk right here, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and get in close so you can actually see the juice coming out. It is a great process with this juicer. It actually juices a lot of the juice out of the celery itself. Now let's go in closer so you can see the actual juice coming out. Get in closer. Now look at that. So that's good juice coming out of here. I'm going to go ahead and put a stalk in so you can see it. Now look at that. Good celery juice coming out. Only a few more stalks left. Juicing this out. Look at that. A lot of juice. You see, it's a reason why they have a splash guard, because the Angel juicer does such a great job. Does such a great job at juicing that the juice is just coming out of all directions. Now I'm going to show you. Now put the juicer cap on, and it just reflects the juice that is coming out back into the juicer cup. Quality engineering going on right here. I'm going to remove it so you can see it. We're almost done with the celery. That stalk. And last stalk with a couple of leaves left. And we're done with the juice. And look at it just overflowing out of that. Take the plunger, get the last of it. All right, so we have all of the celery through the chute. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull back and then turn it off. So you want to turn it off. You don't want this to be running too long after you've put the fruit in there or the vegetables in there, because it can damage the gears that are in here. So you can see there's a reason for the splash guard. There's splashes of celery juice all over the countertop. Now let me go ahead and show you the pulp from the celery juice from using the Angel juicer. And look at this. It's fairly dry, per se. I mean, it has moisture to it, but there's no drip from this right here. You can use this to add to some sort of recipes like celery cake or celery pancakes or whatever you want to use. Great dry pulp right there to use for whatever you want. Now here is the celery juice. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And I'm going to pour it into a cup right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the celery juice in the cup. Look at that. No pulp in there. Pulp free. Full glass of celery juice right here. I'm going to go ahead and drink this. And then after I drink this right here, I'm going to show you what the grinders look like after it has been grinding the juice. Now look at this. Great fresh celery juice right here. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of this. Let me just show you while I'm taking a sip of the celery juice. We're actually finished the whole cup. Wow, that was so good. I'm going to pour the rest of the celery juice in here. I'm going to go ahead and drink this. Now look at this. Look at all the pulp in there. All right, so I finished the celery juice. Here's the pulp sitting in there. And as I promised, I'm going to show you what it looks like after using the Angel juicer. I'm going to go ahead and press stop. I'm going to wait for the fan to go off. Now, it's important that you wait for the fan to go off because it's actually cooling the motor. All right, so you're supposed to wait for the fan to go off. And then there it is. It went off. It cooled the motor. I'm going to go ahead and turn the power switch off in the back for safety reasons before I do this. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the clamp and pull this off. And then I'm just going to tap right here. Now this is one of the gears. Now there's another gear in there. Go ahead, give that a good shake. Now look at this. Look at that pulp from the celery. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Look at that. It looks like a lawnmower after cutting the lawn. All of that pulp from the celery is coming off right here. Look at that. Gonna go ahead and do this, and here's another one. Pull that off. A lot of celery. Now that's just, look at this. All the celery pulp that's coming off of this, fairly dry. The Angel juicer does a great job with separating the juice from the fibrous pulp right here. I hope this was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching.